topic of today? Screenwriting. Hey everyone, welcome back to What the Film School. I'm Hayley, and in today's video I'm going to talk about screenwriting. I hope I haven't annoyed you guys too much because I recently launched my crash course on how to make a short film and I released my screenwriting section, so I've kind of been posting just a little bit about that on this channel. I don't know if you've seen or heard of it. If you haven't for some reason, then you can check the link somewhere around here. So I thought today's video would be a great opportunity to share a little sneak preview of what is in the screenwriting portion of my course and also give you guys just a few extra tips that aren't in my course about screenwriting, how to get into it, what is it, and all that jazz. And all that jazz. When I was younger, I spent a lot of time after school writing short stories, and eventually I started coming up with ideas for different movies and short films that I wanted to create, so I knew that I needed to learn how to write scripts. I think I just Googled it one day, how to write a movie script or the structure of a movie script. So I basically just kind of copied a really basic outline and started writing my very first short film script. I didn't realize that there was so much more to it than just, sticking to the structure or just writing it the way that a script is supposed to be written. There's actually a lot about development and arcs and characters and story and all those things that are really important to build a full movie and to build a great screenplay. As I went to film school, I actually learned a lot more about screenwriting and how to do it really well. And that's why I created the first part of my course, is because I wanted to share all those tips and tricks that I learned from film school. So today I'm just going to insert a little bit of part 3 of that screenwriting section. Again, if you're interested in signing up for my course, you can go on over and do that at filmcourse.org right now. So let's take a look at my free preview. One of the first rules about screenwriting is that scripts are not written like books. And it's very tempting, I know, to make a script like a book, but unfortunately you really have to avoid this because books are written from the perspective of the main character, and so there's so much thought, there's so much action in there, there's a really big combination of what the character's thinking and feeling at all times, whereas scripts are not like that actually. They just tell us what the character is doing, and it's up to us on the screen to show what they are feeling. So we're not reading about it, we're showing it. This all again ties back into the show don't tell aspect of movies. So you don't want to include any explicit emotions, any thoughts, feelings, or anything subjective in your screenplay. It all has to be objective. Anything that we can see that doesn't have to do with what the character is thinking or feeling on the inside. So here I have the same scene written 2 slightly different ways. So let's see if we can find which one is subjective and which one is objective. Here's example 1. Interior room night. A man and woman are fighting with each other and the man insults the woman. Man, I can't believe I'm dating an idiot. Woman, don't ever talk to me again. The woman runs out of the room with tears welling up in her eyes. Man, I'm so sorry, honey, come back, I didn't mean to hurt you. The man runs out after her. So that's example 1 of this scene. So let's see example 2 of the same scene written slightly differently. Interior room night. Man and woman are fighting with each other. Man insults the woman because he is frustrated that she isn't listening to his feelings. Man, I can't believe I'm dating an idiot. Woman, don't ever talk to me again. Woman runs out of the room with tears welling up in her eyes because she is shocked that the man would say something so rude. The man immediately feels regret. I'm so sorry, honey, come back, I didn't mean to hurt you. Man runs after her, hoping that she will forgive him. So can you tell the difference? Obviously the second one looks nicer when we read it because it has all the details, tells us about the character's emotions, but it's actually incorrect formatting. Number 1 is the correct option because our script is only supposed to tell us what we are going to see and hear on the screen. If you want to write down the character's emotions and feelings, you have to do that in the pre-planning part, which is what we covered in part 1 of this course. So I hope you liked that little section of my course. If you want to see more, you can also go check out a free preview if you enter your name and your email. So to just provide a few more tips about screenwriting, the major one, and something that I do say a lot about in my course, is that screenwriting and any kind of writing is all about rewriting. I don't know anybody that has written one first draft of something and had it be perfect. Often in film school, what would happen is we would come into a screenwriting class and we'd come out with our drafts, or we'd come out with a few pages of the screenplay we've been working on, and then we critique it and we edit it, and then we come back the next week with revised versions of those pages. So it's never that you're just coming forward and saying, I'm done, this is my first draft, it's complete, I feel great about it. If that happens to you, you're really lucky because that's very rare. I can tell you from personal experience, I'm never really happy with the first draft. So let's say I spent a day writing maybe 10 pages of a screenplay or of a story. I'll take a few hours to step away from it, or maybe just come back to it the next day and then read it through and see how I feel at that point. Because when you're immersed in writing, you're kind of in the story and you're kind of thinking one way about it, but when you come back to it later, you can have kind of a different view on what you've written, and then you can start to tweak it from there. When you do go back to rewrite, make sure you're not doing rewrites forever and ever. So there's kind of a point where you have to tell yourself okay, I'm happy with this final draft, we're gonna stick with it, it'll be good. And going off of this, even if you aren't in film school, you can still definitely share your script with anybody in your life that you think would be helpful to give you feedback feedback. So whether that's your parents, your friends, maybe you're just going to regular high school or college and you want a close maybe English professor or an English teacher, that is really, really helpful. When I was in high school, what I ended up doing is going to a website, and I'll link this down below, but I posted all my short stories and all my ideas to a website called Worthy of Publishing. And this was such a great place to go because anybody from anywhere could submit and upload their stories, and then people from wherever could just read your stories and give you feedback below. And I did that for one of my short stories, and I actually got some really helpful feedback from someone in the comments. If that's something that you're interested in, you want to get better at your writing, or you just want to get a different outside opinion from someone that's not close to you, then definitely go check out Worthy of Publishing. And also, one of the most exciting things about writing screenplays, if that's your true passion and you feel like you've written something that is really, really good, you're really excited about it, then definitely check out some festivals that you could submit to. Plenty of things, and I'll link all of these down in the comments below, but plenty of things will accept just your screenplays. And if you get picked up, or if there's like a community on those websites or in those festivals that can also read your scripts, then that's another way to get feedback or get recognition for yourself as well. Something that's a little bit similar to the Worthy of Publishing but is more professional and widely accepted by the industry is a website called the Blacklist. But basically, amateur and professionals and whatever screenwriters can upload their unproduced feature-length screenplays to this website, and then hopefully those will gain traction based on popularity. But there's a group of studio executives that sort through the Blacklist and they find whoever's screenplays are the most popular, and then a lot of these actually do get produced into full-length movies. A few films that have been picked up from the Blacklist include 500 Days of Summer, Little Miss Sunshine, and Juno as well, which are a few of my favorite movies. But you do have to pay to be on the Blacklist, so again, I'll link all of this below. You can scroll through the website and see there's like different price points for like being a monthly member with the Blacklist, for uploading certain scripts, for getting a little bit more exposure. But even if you're not there with a screenplay yet, that's totally fine. And if you still don't feel as comfortable with the act of screenwriting, or you don't really understand it that well, I really recommend going and finding pre-existing scripts, especially for your favorite movies. You can go on over to Internet Movie Script Database and find pretty much almost any script you want. There's a few that are missing there for sure, but there's a lot of new releases that are on there, and you can get like the first draft or the second draft of these screenplays. So it's really cool to read through them and see kind of how they change from the script to the movie. Another idea is to just do some research online and see if there's any like local screenwriters in your area. Maybe even if you're on LinkedIn or something, you can type in like screenwriter and find someone who's doing it more of like a freelance situation, or they're not like a big Hollywood blockbuster person. And then you can just send them an email and say like, hey, I'd love to shadow you or get some advice, because that's a really great opportunity to learn from someone who's actually doing it and working in the industry and getting like that first-hand experience that can really share that with you. And finally, something that I learned about in film school, which I'm hopefully going to make another video about at some point because it's actually a really big topic, is writing spec scripts. And this is especially true and helpful if you're looking to more get into TV writing as opposed to film writing, because spec scripts basically are when you take an existing show and you write an entire script. So if it's a half-hour show, you write a 30-page script. It's an hour-long show, you write, 45 to 60-minute long script. And so you're basically pulling from the characters and from the story that's happening, and you're making your own concept. You're making your own episode from it. So I actually did this in film school. I took Stranger Things, and between season 1 before season 2 came out, I wrote an episode, kind of like the start of season 2 basically. And this was all just based on like who I knew the characters to be from watching season 1. It's almost like fan fiction in a way, which is like really fun to write when you start to get into it. But the reason why spec scripts are so important when you're looking to be a TV writer is because they want to see that you're able to grasp what the story is, who the characters are, and have that tone in your writing. Because if you're able to write an entire series, let's say you're signed on to write like 13 episodes of something, you have to be consistent over each script. So definitely writing spec scripts. You could write an entire season of spec scripts if you wanted to. And again, pick whatever show you want. It could be anything that's still currently on the air, or maybe even something that's been off the air for a while as well. If you're feeling inspired, that's a really great practice for you. It's also really good to see if you can stick into that format. Then that's a really good example of your work that you can include in your portfolio and use to apply to jobs later. So I hope this video is helpful to you guys. I hope that you're interested in screenwriting, and if you are, again, you can go check out my course a little bit further. I'm going to be releasing a lot more parts for this course because it is a crash course on filmmaking, so it's not just screenwriting. Eventually it's going to move into production, so I'll show you how to use cameras, how to set up lighting, how to cast actors, and then all the way to editing as well. So I'll show you how to finish your movie, what software I like to use, and then how to distribute your film. All the links of everything I've talked about in this video will be down in the description. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any one of my posts, because that would be sad. And thank you guys so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!